Okay, I'm at 50% battery over the phone, and I'm going to try to do this all before, I don't know how it's going to take me, but when I'm doing something, I want this to be done right, and if it takes me 1,000 days to do, then I will take 1,000 days to do. Okay, I'm not thinking about as much as how long it will take me, but I know that I'm going to take the time that is necessary until I can say this is done as it needed to be done. Okay, I make long videos, I make many videos, but it's not insignificant. This is so crazy what's happening, because this that is happening right now is the same as the Red Sea. Who's pursuing? And so there's going to be, like before, you know, instead of the water, it's going to be the fire. But you know, the Red Sea pursuing after, and then after that the water, you know, make them drown. Is it or isn't it? You are talking too, okay, there's a little typo there. You are talking too much from your nose, and you could not smell what was coming from him. Talking about Jesus. Sweet odor of reconciliation that you cannot prevent. Thank you, TGO, for this. The link is going over this video here. Is Jesus directly called Yahweh in scripture? Thank you, TGO. Thank you. How to know who's for the body, who's the spit out of the body. Okay, I mean, infiltration of the church. First, infiltration of the church, they have to be friendly so they can infiltrate. But this has been going on for a long time. And if you would see over the keys everything that happened throughout the years, well, TGO is not a newcomer neither. So what he's defending, what TGO is defending, is not to please or to infiltrate. I know TGO is for us. And he's giving the link about, is Jesus directly called Yahweh in scripture? And Anthony Rogers here explaining how instead of just Jesus saying, I am Yahweh, or I am Jehovah, instead of doing that, well, he said I am, but instead of doing that, or just that, because he said I am, he is showing what Jehovah or Yahweh, you know, the two different names for the same. Jehovah, what he did too. Okay? So what the Lord did, Jesus is doing. Here, on this video, the voice that you hear, okay, the voice that you hear is saying that the Lord, sorry, let's hear this right now, okay, but I'm not forgetting about Tamara over there. This is really, okay, crazy how they will fall back. They will fall back. Visitor is net is going to flee for his life. He must be laughing hearing me say that. I don't think so.
God does not change. If you 3:6, for I am the Lord, I do not change.
You hear how he's talking with his nose? I said long time ago that if I would be described as a part in the body, I would be the nose. How can I know who's who? I smell them. Okay, it's like I know who's who from afar. Just as much as up close. The thing is that he's talking with his nose. What he's saying?
Therefore, you are not consumed. You are
Not consider out, or is this a part that is from Satan and I should not consider?
Okay, let's continue. So on this page, we want to look at fire from heaven. According to Jesus, fire from heaven is of the wrong manner of spirit. So first of all, Malachi 3:6. For I am the Lord, I do not change. Therefore, you are not consumed. You are not killed, O sons of Jacob. Okay, so God says, I do not change. And because I do not change, you're not killed. So God is not a killer. God does not change. If Jesus wasn't a killer, then God never past tense was a killer, nor future tense will be a killer. In fact, he doesn't even have the power of death. The power of death belongs to Satan. Hebrews 2:14. Inasmuch then as the children have partaken of flesh and blood, he himself likewise shared in the same, that through death he might destroy him who had the power of death, that is, the devil. Okay, so God does not even possess the power of death. He cannot kill. He has.
So, if the power of death is only from Satan, how is it that Jesus said that he had the power? I have power. Okay, it's really saying power here. King James Version, John 10:18. No man taketh it from me. His life. He is life. No man taketh it from me, but I lay it down of myself. I have power to lay it down. So that's death. He has the power over death. Jesus has power over death, and he has power also, because it's repeated power. I have power, and I have power to take it again. He's got power of death and life. This commandment have I received of my Father. So, Jesus saying that he laid down his own life. He has power over death and life. Here, the man speaking from his nose, what he's saying? He's lying. He's saying that he had not power of death, but only Satan had power of death. I just showed you. It says power, and again it says power. It says power over death, and it says power over life. I have power to lay it down, and I have power to take it again. He was talking about his life, and it was Jesus that was saying this. He died on the cross and was raised. So he had power over death and life. The thief cometh not but for to steal, and to kill, and to destroy. I am come that they might have life, and that they might have it more abundantly. It's Jesus there. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep. But he that is an hireling, and not the shepherd, whose own the sheep are not, seeth the wolf coming, and leaveth the sheep, and fleeth, and the wolf catcheth them, and scattereth the sheep. The hireling fleeth, because he is an hireling, and careth not for the sheep. I am the good shepherd, and know my sheep, and am known of mine. As the Father knoweth me, even so know I the Father, and I lay down my life for the sheep. And other sheep I have which are not of this fold, and this is because they don't look like sheep at all. You know, like Ranne. And other sheep I have which are not of this fold, them also I must bring. And they shall hear my voice, and there shall be one fold and one shepherd. Ranne Franklin, when I said to him, I'm saying something going on over your YouTube. He said, I'm not interested. Then, I put out the video, and I said, they're doing it again. And then he said that he was interested. My cousin said she was not interested. But for the past 8 months, she showed a lot of interest. People, Jesus has power to bring to himself whomsoever he will quicken. Okay, you know the thing about he knows how to get you. And other sheep I have which are not of this fold, them also I must bring. Because that was my prayer. That was my prayer. I was praying. I knew my limitation. I understood that it would be hard for me to get the heart of my cousin, and I asked Jesus, you know the way. And so after that, I did everything that he told me, and we are at this point where she is there. She is there. 3 of my enemies already believe that I won her heart. 3 of my enemies believe that. Already. Another sheep I have which are not of this fold because of confession. They did confession. Mary Perry, Robert Kelly, The Voice of Gene. So, 3 different people, enemies, 3 different confessions. Were they sincere? Were they not sincere? I don't know, but it was confession. Robert Kelly was saying what? I'm not so sure who's the victim and the predator. It's even him that pulled her back over here to try to shoot me. Then you had the Voice of Jane saying, if all is good, in a year or 2, you would be with your, let's say you would be with your cousin, will you apply the law to her firstborn, Thomas? Then there was the first one. There was Mary Perry with Thus said the Lord. And then when she was there, because I said in the condition my cousin would show herself. And she did show herself. But people did not say, this must be true prophecy. The words that we hear, they do come to pass. So they instead they went their way. Because when it was the time to acknowledge something was really happening, then they just went somewhere else. They did not want to put themselves in humility because they knew already all that they had done against it. So, Mary Perry said at some point in this whole thing, when she was looking at the way my cousin was answering me back, and she said, get a room. So, 3 people that were against, they did say that they already believed that I already won her heart. 3 of my enemies. It's not something. When the words of prophecy, they see that it really come to pass, they are going away. So, they were there when they said, you're not a prophet. And when they see the words of prophecy happening, then they go away. They just go away. No humility. They don't accept the humiliation from Jesus, but they were gladly taking all humiliation from Satan. Because they were humiliated by Satan, they took it. They had pleasure in it. But when it came the humiliation from Jesus, they went their way. My cousin, she did accept the humiliation that she received being with Danny. Danny was not Satan directly, but he did the work of Satan, and she was waiting for him to call back. When I did call her, she was not happy because she was expecting Danny to try to get back to her, and it was me that was calling her. So it did really hurt me when she was talking to me as a stranger. But then, is it a good thing or a bad thing? Because if the thing about cousin was a turn down, then she did speak to me as I was a complete stranger. So not anymore cousin then. She was not looking at this that way. She was only looking at it that way, that Danny had not called her. She was waiting for him, even though he had kicked her out of his apartment that I paid for at unaware. But she had no respect unto the work. And even though he did not work, she did accept all the evil from him for some time. The thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. And then there is another sheep I have, which are not of this fold, them also I must bring, and they shall hear my voice, and there shall be one fold and one shepherd. Therefore doth my Father love me, because I lay down my life, that I might take it again. No man taketh it from me, but I lay down of myself. I lay it down of myself. I have power to lay it down, and I have power to take it again. This commandment have I received of my Father. So this is a full display that he has, Jesus has the power over life and death. Now you've got this guy here speaking with his nose, and he's saying a lie. He's saying it's Satan that got the power of death. Jesus got power over life and death. And when is it or isn't it was saying that the lie came by Moses, he lied again because the lie came by Satan, not by Moses. You're caught. You know the net of Peter, it's a strong net. The fish net that was sent over the right side of the ship. From the commandment of Jesus saying to Peter, believe, throw the net over this side, you had not catch all day, but you will catch now. Well, is this really part of the truth, or is this a part that is from Satan and I should not consider?
Okay, let's continue. So on this page, we want to look at fire from heaven. According to Jesus, fire from heaven is of the wrong manner of spirit. So first of all, Malachi 3:6. For I am the Lord, I do not change. Therefore, you are not consumed. You are not killed, O sons of Jacob. Okay, so God says, I do not change. And because I do not change, you're not killed. So God is not a killer. God does not change. If Jesus wasn't a killer, then God never, past tense, was a killer. No.
When Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were in the fire did not kill them. Not all fire is therefore to kill, but the same fire who did not kill Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, the same fire killed those who had thrown them in that very same fire. The Bible is a lesson. Okay? If you're not looking at the depth of the reason for the Word of God, then you're going to say, at face value, you will not understand the parable. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, there was a great furnace, and the king said, let's put the fire tenfold, okay, sevenfold, I don't know how many fold, put the fire very burning high. And then they were thrown in the fire, but it did not hurt them. The same fire, those who had put them in the fire, they also fall in the same fire, they were consumed. But the same fire did not consume the people that held to worship the true God. Therefore you are not consumed. But some of them that are in the same fire, when they don't have Jesus with them, then they are consumed. O sons of Jacob. So you see here, okay, he does not change. The water saved at the Red Sea, the same water killed at the same Red Sea. The fire saved Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. The same fire killed those who had put them in the fire because they wanted to fight the fact that they would hold to their God. He's saying, look, Satan had power over that, but I just showed you immediately, okay, this is very straightforward. He's talking about he had and I lay down my life for the sheep. And then he's saying, because I lay down my life that I might take it again. He has power over death. He has power over life. He has power over life and death. And you say, what, Satan? He has power over death. He does not even have power over death because he cannot kill unless Jesus allow him. And then they said the Lord killed more than Satan. If Satan would have been allowed all the time to do as he pleased, how many would he have killed? So they don't think like that. And they speak from their nose, knowing nothing. They are the hidden ones. They are the prudent. You know, is it or isn't it change of plan? Okay, it was hidden ones. They are the hidden ones. Everything secret will be yelled on the rooftop. There is nothing secret that will not be known. So they are the hidden ones. How is it for 4 years? This fight against Jonathan Clegg from Jane. And then it turns out that everybody would think Jane was trying to defend the Lord. And then after that, there's a change. And then change of plan. And it became nothing about Jonathan Clegg, but all about my situation. And trying to convince me that the Lord is not the Lord. It was big. It was very big. Very big. So that's why you can talk about the blind leading the blind. About this, kudos to MacGyver. When MacGyver was insisting and saying, how is it that Jane is not telling what he's believing in? How is it that he's not displaying his faith, what it's about? Well, I got to give some credit to MacGyver about this. Because all the people that followed for 4 years with Jane, to find out that he was not defending the Lord. Unless it's somebody else that took his place.
Okay, so God says, I do not change, and because I do not change, you're not killed. So God is not a killer. God does not change. If Jesus wasn't a killer, then God never, past tense was a killer, nor future tense will be a killer. In fact, he doesn't even have the power of death. The power of death belongs to Satan.
In fact, he has not the power of death. In fact, he has. He has the power of death. Why do you say, in fact? In fact, it's not a fact. It's a lie. You lie. And they even use facts to lie. They will say, look, there's a fact over this, and they use it to lie. Or they say, in fact, and it's not in fact. It's all contrary, because they are showing the scriptures in the way of their own way of thinking. They say the Lord is wicked, evil, but they themselves never show any grace. When it's a time for reconciliation, they are not helping. So they are saying, we keep Jesus, we hate the Lord, but they are all doing the way, of the wickedness that they are saying the Lord is wicked. And when they could help for reconciliation, then they are making sure that it won't happen. So if they love Jesus, why they are not doing like Jesus? If they hate the Lord, why they are doing like that? The letter of reconciliation from Jane, they put it as a foundation to start the YouTube channel Change of Plan, to make me doubt because I was convinced that it was written believe and not just hoping for it, the beginning of reconciliation, that piqued the interest of my cousin, and then they laid the foundation over that to make me doubt over everything else after. There was a plan. It was very cunning.
If Jesus wasn't a killer, then God never, past tense was a killer, nor future tense will be a killer. In fact, he doesn't even have the power of death. The power of death belongs to Satan. Hebrews 2:14. Inasmuch then as
Okay, now going back over here. Sorry, it took me a long time. But there's something that I think you did not finish in part 2. So I had to go back to it. So where was I with the message from Tamara? Your cousin and Jean did a good job at making it seem that you were a predator, and knowing Kelly, I didn't want to judge yet. I told your cousin, if you were such a predator, this is when you get someone to beat or scare your ass. After seeing that she is playing with your heart, as I have to accept those I love, is not my business who they love. So I would not be with I would not be with a cousin or someone of the same sex. This is why I never dated my race till I found my parents. Yet you wanting to be married. Okay, I understand. But I'm not going to even try to interpret because you said you don't want me to. But what I understand though is that there is your parents let you know the difference, and so what you would not do before, now you agree to do because you had no understanding, and now you do have. Because your parents explained to you the right from the wrong. Sorry, I said I would not interpret. Yet you wanting to be married to your first cousin, I know used to be illegal before the 70s. That's why they did a blood test for a wedding license. I mean, the royal family and the Rothschild are all about keeping in the family. Most Satanists are as well. But like those who love the same sex, it's accepted by these groups. And you did mention that your cousin is a witch, as well as now speaking on spaghetti. They usually use the monthly blood and spaghetti sauce. I broke curse of abuse and only spoke love and taught my kids to love and respect. The auntie who was with the 14 years old. Well, what did I say? I said that there was Halloween, and at Halloween, she had. She knew me enough that at the time she knew me enough. She knew that I would not go there with any type of disguise, and so she prepared something for me, and she had something, to make me a clown, and then she had something over the head, a witch hat, and she explained to me that it was, all of a sudden, she, at that time, she did buy the witch hat, and now she found use for it because we went together for Halloween. I don't know even if she thought of it to be a rendezvous or just friends. Well, okay, she was testing me, all right. So, and you did mention that your cousin is a witch as well as now speaking on spaghetti. They usually, and she can speak for herself too. If she thinks that I'm manipulating everything, she can have her own testimony regarding anything she likes. Okay, she wants to get the truth out there. If it's true, then she can have her own testimony. The auntie, she's at full liberty. How is she using her liberty? The auntie of, well, speaking on spaghetti, they usually use a monthly blood and spaghetti sauce. I broke curse of abuse and only spoke love and taught my kids to love and respect. The auntie who was with the 14 years old, I had to ask to leave my home because my son was then 10. My first native sister was used for sex from both parents as well as her brother, causing a mental split. In fact, all my native brothers and sisters were all abused sexually. Most of them as adults would tell me about all their sexual craziness. Seeing her putting the two men with weed and spirits with children there just made me sick. I know you love her as my brother loved me. By the abuse as children, he could not love me like a sister as hard as he tried. I am sharing all this to let you know that from a very small child, I always loved Jesus, and the worst things got, whether going no food or being tied to a bed for who knows how long, or beaten off to death, left for dead, as well as the many times. Well, that's a testimony here. That's a testimony here. You see why I'm reading this? I want my cousin to understand what is testimony. First real beating to the point of a broken, whether going no food or being tied to a bed for who knows how long, or beaten half to death, left for dead, as well as the many times I tried as the first real beating to the point of a broken bone was only being ate, and while jumping off an old bed in an attic with the rope around my neck, the rope broke, so I too was called an idiot many times. I started believing it, so with the church giving no help and calling CPS, going to 3 different places were beating and more sexual abuse, along with the many DRS. As the last time I was drugged and placed in hospital at 12. When they filmed my story, yet wanted me to say my father had sex with me, even though more than half of the kids there at this happened was when I was released. I was really at this happened was when I was released. Maybe somebody knows what she meant there. All of this as the bikers, then the Greek mafia said enough. I had a job and protection after that at 13, as well as a room at the YMCA. Till at 16 I could finally get an apartment. Still teaching Sunday school and teaching dance class on Saturday, while finally free from that 60s school poem of a teacher and carpenter. I forgave them and held my father's hand and kept saying I love you as he took his last breath at 45. Like my Finn brother, who I basically cursed, telling him after spending thousands of dollars living with him to help me finish raising my son as his wish was, or the adopted mother would at least like him, but it got bad, so I moved us out and told him I was done and would die alone in his basement, which he did. He would die alone in his basement, which he did. Sorry, I don't know what more to write. I just know being to her house in Greece and seeing the cave where John wrote Revelation, and the huge jar empty that Zeus sat in, as well as other miracles. I shared some with Kelly on her page and some on the phone. I trust her and I know she really trusts and respects you. Thanks, Jesus, and to the Creator of all that is good. Please watch over us as we love you most of all, and have so much respect for what you did on the cross for all. So there's got to be a story that is worse, more wicked, evil, disgusting, because it is, than yours. I mean, talking about whom? My cousin, she had her share. I had my share. Tamara had her share. You know, of abuse. We all had our share of abuse. But then, there was some abuse going on. She said from my part. There was some abuse that people can see that was going from her part. And what I'm saying here is that people need to be aware of their own sin. Maybe understanding if things are happening to them because they had also themselves their own sin. Tamara decided to keep with Jesus after all of that. I decided to keep Jesus after my own share of abuse that I received. But my cousin decided to go and take the religion over the sect of change of plan at first sight. So it's not about going against God because you suffered abuse, because some of us still stay with Jesus. That's why testimony is important. And when we compare testimony to a testimony, then it's become very clear. So, if I messed up your message, that was not my intention. People that know me enough know that I'm trying to be just, but also to be just when there is something that I think is wrong, I say. And people that are my friends, people that I love, I make no difference about, I won't lie because I want to hide from what is in plain sight. So they can trust me. They can trust me over that. My cousin said, I cannot trust you because you're telling all my secrets. But then at the same time, you see that I'm not holding much over my secrets. So can you trust me? Can you not trust me? And why I'm saying your secret is because you are against him. And the only way for you to consider him, I had to say all those secrets of yours. If not only to make you admit that you should have some remorse. But saying stories that are worse than your own story, don't you ask yourself why you reject Jesus? Because you do. And why she kept him. So, I wanted to talk about this. I did not ignore Tamara. Why did I didn't ignore Tamara? Because this is people need to see this. So they can then compare with their own share of abuse and trying to figure out how is this that Tamara would keep Jesus. Marianne, you asked directly to Kelly Barr why she would respect me. She's going to tell you. She's going to tell you. So Agenda 2016 is still missing. I'm not sure if the other number would be this number. I'm not clear about this at all. Okay, this thing going on with Ranmui, I really don't know what's going on over there. It's all mysterious to me. But Agenda 2018. Agenda Zen 2018. Sorry, I'm going to keep that for the end. Okay, this part over there. Okay, Genesis 38, going with what's been addressed over everywhere. Okay, walk with me. Our latest video, I asked God, how do you know my name? He answered, I am. My cousin, Marianne, decided to put I am over her own YouTube channel description. Following after this. Even though this is the latest video, already Kelly Barr had expressed more than in more than one occasion, she did say about the way that she was approached, the name I am. So, I am that I am. And God said unto Moses, I am that I am. When I am is being used by Jesus, it is also by itself a way for to say that he is the same I am. So there's the discussion with fire from heaven was from the wrong manner of spirit. Then TGO said a debate between Travis and this guy would be very interesting. Complex question require comprehensive study with a little bit sweating even, because it's like a work. And then I'm telling you, studying the scripture is work, because I consider that everything that I've done over the YouTube was work. A debate between Travis and this guy would be very interesting. Complex question require comprehensive story. So I clicked on the link and it led me here. Is Jesus directly called Yahweh in scripture? Over the video here, it was an attempt to say that it was not the case. Here, there's the argumentation going over it is the case. And sometimes being directly claiming of something is less effective than to actually prove it with works. So that's why when Jesus is showing himself to be Jehovah, Yahweh, God, the Lord, then he is not only saying that he is, but he's also showing that he is. Every people can say that they are somebody, but also there's a scriptures talking about prove it. Prove that you are that person that you claim to be. If anyone think to be someone, let him prove it. It's in Galatians. For if a man think himself to be something when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself. But let every man prove his own work, and then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone and not in another. That's why I kept the keys. My cousin said, well, you keep the keys there, and when you dig them out, the only thing you could come up with is the soap episode from Rodney. Well, that's what I needed at the time. But what would you want me to show you from the keys? Because I kept, and then you said to never be seen again. But is it your words that will prevail, or is it my words that will prevail? Because I believe, and I said that you believe more than me, but right now you had shown yourself in disbelief. And yet you're suggesting to me that I should get myself a double bed, an apartment, but for who, if it would not be for you? Because why you would suggest this to me if it would not be for you? Just as much as when I suggested to you, here's $500, do you want to get a stérilé? And you said, you were full of joy, and you were saying, yes, I'm going to take the $500, I'm going to get a stérilé, which you did not do because Danny stole the money. And then you said you were glad that I proposed to you about the stérilé. Did you think that I was wanting to give you a stérilé for another? So just as much as when you're making suggestion that I should, maybe it would be maybe the time for me to get a double bed, it's for you. Is it for you? Can you be more straightforward? Because you know how those hints that I should, hints, description with comment, I should be understanding all the revealed answers. How could it be made more clear? But maybe I lack faith. Could you increase my faith? Because the first time that I did it, the first time that I put all the efforts to make it work, you had a mission, and your mission was to discourage me, and to discourage me, and to discourage me. So, are you having any regrets? Because now it seems that it was successful. Okay, you were able to discourage me, and now you get to the point where you put it like this. You say, what? I'm not even sure anymore if I still love you. You aren't even so sure you love me anymore, but it's been made damn clear to everyone how much you find me despicable. You did everything you could. You said to me you tried to discourage me. You said to me that you showed yourself worse. You said to me that it was done with intent. You wanted to make this hope dead. I mean, your little sister said to me, your dog is dead. And then I went to your place because I wanted to make sure that it was dead. But then you said to me, no, Ulysse is still alive. But then he died because he was suffering too much. So you did euthanasia, and then you kept the color, the hope. You aren't even so sure you love me anymore. How can you say that now? You did everything to discourage me. Okay? Communication, Facebook. Why don't you communicate with me with Facebook? Well, because you blocked my account. Well, make another. Well, I was brought in front of judges because they said you are making more accounts to try to harass your cousin. I still don't understand what you expect from me. well, I'm not sure neither what I should expect from you. But I'm sure that you're waiting from Kelly Bar to give you the reason for why she has respect with me. And not just a little. There's going to be another part over there. She dedicated her life to this. And you better believe it. Why she would do that? Why she would dedicate her life to it? The time that she's got with her life, she dedicated her life to this. It's more than just respect then. She wants to communicate to you what you didn't see from me because you were looking from the outward. So, some are spiritual, some are carnal. And I remember when you were talking about when you were with François. And at some point you told me, I don't think it's just carnal with him. You were trying to figure out if he loved only the outward or if he actually loved who you are. And you said to me, well, I don't know. I don't think if it's just carnal. You were telling me this, and I'm telling you again, I need you to remember everything that you tried to forget because you want someone to love you. But all your efforts were about staying far from love. And I know because I have my friend Samuel. Remember my friend Samuel? He's telling me, he told me that he did not want to fall in love ever. And so he stayed far from it. Now he could not avoid forever because now he said to me that he is falling in love. So he did not want to fall in love, especially from what he saw from me and what it did to me, what love did to me. For the last, 10 years, day and night, he saw what love did to me. And even before, he was telling me he wanted to stay far from it. So every of his relation, he saw them as casual, without love, without true, he did it not thinking of the tomorrow. I mean, and then he heard me and he saw the earth. Still, he could not prevent that he also would fall in love someday. Maybe I understand you better than you think. And you give back to me the saying that maybe I don't understand anything, but you understand me better than I do. So you're playing with me with this. And this is all in the midst of all the rest that's going on. But all of it is going together. All of this is the will of the Father. And there was need for preparation. I started the YouTube 3 years or about a little bit more, a little bit less, 3 years before visiting you at your apartment at Snay. There was already some preparation. When I went to your place at Snay, I already was convinced that this was part of my long journey. Then after that, there was a breakaway. Okay, I went my way, then I came back just for a little time. Then after that, another breakaway, because from Snay to Desjardins, and from Desjardins after, where are you? I don't know. But I know with whom you are. And I know that Simon is not with you. And I know that Simon is not with you, because when you ask him to be with you, to fight against me, he would not help you. So I know with who you are, and I don't need to know where you are because you are over the YouTube with me every day. I don't need to know where you are. I see that you are here every day. So then there's everything else. But it's all the will of God, and it's for to prove everything, and this is all going together, and He's doing the separation. You know, the sheep over his left, is it? And the goat on his right. Or sheep, left, right, goat. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand. But also I explained how some of the sheep, when they don't turn with him, they become goat, spiritually at least. And what is matter more is how you are spiritually with him than if you are of his blood or not of his blood. Because the people that are from his blood, they did not all receive him. Remember when he said, I turned to the Gentiles, because the Jews did not receive the King of Kings, and so the Lord of Lords. And then he turned to the Gentiles, they did not hear me, they will hear me. All of this going on. The other fold that I have, I must also bring, so they will be one, having one shepherd, they will be one fold. All of this means something. There is all this thing saying that no, there's no actual seed of the serpent. This has been going on a lot around the time that the twins were part of the story. Now they are no more anymore so much part of the story, because I don't see them anywhere. Since change of plan, the voice of Gene decided to change every of his effort and not do anything about Jonathan Click anymore, but it was all directed, all his time, all his effort directed toward my situation with my cousin. The twins did not follow with it. They just didn't. They are no longer part of the story ongoing. I don't see them anywhere taking part. Either showing they are for or against, I don't see them anymore. Maybe somebody could just bring them back here to see what they think about this. Because everything is going very much different direction than it was before. People could not follow with it because they could not bear it. They could not bear the fact. They could not bear the fact that my cousin was there. They don't understand this. They could not bear the fact that change of plan, putting his effort toward here. They don't understand that. I'm sure they don't. They don't understand why. All the people that were over there, okay, over Gene, where are they gone to? Since Gene stopped making videos about Jonathan Click, or fainted to do video about Jonathan Click, where are they gone to? I thought that the interest was Jesus. So where are they gone to? Where they are finding his words spoken? Because that's where they should be. Where's the continuous story at? The spirit that led them to go over Jonathan Clegg because of Gene Revel, what is the spirit leading them toward now? So there is those videos, okay? The address about the letter Kilet, then about King of the Fools, then about the beast is like a leopard, a lion, and a bear, then fire from heaven was from the wrong manner of spirit. And then the people following, some people are not following.
Sure. But when they had grace, they became...
Okay, phone call. C'est qui? C'est qui?
Oui. Bon, ça va très bien, mais nos contrôles sont
McGee saying, Jonathan Olin doesn't like what I say about his God, but many Christians are like that. They want to gaslight for the motherfucker. Then, Kelly Barr said regarding this video here, the beast is like a leopard, lion, and bear. In love, and there came forth a spirit and stood before the Lord and said, I will persuade him. That's about the story when the Lord sent a lying spirit for to entice, because the plan worked. It did. People can see that the scriptures were fulfilled when Robert Kelly pulled my cousin back here. The scripture saying, I will send a lying spirit to entice. It did happen. In love, and there came forth a spirit and stood before the Lord and said, I will persuade him. And Micaiah said, as the Lord liveth, what the Lord said unto me, that will I speak. So he came to the king, and the king said unto him, Micaiah, shall we go against Ramoth Gilead to battle, or shall we forbear? And he answered him, go and prosper, for the Lord shall deliver it until the end of the king. And the king said unto him, how many times shall I adjure thee that do tell me nothing but that which is true in the name of the Lord? And he said, I saw all Israel scattered upon the hills as sheep that have not a shepherd. He asked, tell me the truth. The truth was not good, but it was the truth. Jesus said, don't call me good. If you want the truth, there's going to be some bad in it. There's a reason why they stopped following with Jesus for a time, and then Peter said, then we will follow, you have the word of life. And he said, I saw all Israel scattered upon the hills as sheep that have not a shepherd. And the Lord said, these have no master. Let them return every man to his house in peace. And the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, did I not tell thee that he would prophesy no good concerning me, but evil? And he said, hear do therefore the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne, and all the host of heaven standing by him, on his right hand and on his left. And the Lord said, who shall persuade Ahab, that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? And one said on this manner, and another said on that manner. Now remember, is it or isn't it, just put out a video saying, fire from heaven was from the wrong manner of spirit. But then, okay, Jesus appeared as fire in a bush. You say fire from heaven was from the wrong manner of spirit. Well, fire from heaven is the verdict for them that did not hold to the true God, after hearing the words of truth coming from him, that is sent to judge them. I send you Elijah first. Then after the fire. You know Elijah, when he brought out the 850 false prophets of Baal and of the grove that sit at Jezebel's table, the fire came after. And one said on this manner, and another said on that manner. Then God sent, you know, okay, at the end, what's happening at the end? Well, everybody thinking, well, there's going to be fire to judge the people. But at the same time, at the end, maybe not exactly at the same time, but near the end, there's the one that's coming after me is going to baptize with the Holy Ghost and fire. So baptized with fire, but there's also going to be death from fire. It's from the same Lord that will baptize with fire, and that is sending fire to kill, to save and to kill again. You know, to save and to kill. Then God sent an evil spirit between Abimelech and the men of Shechem, and the men of Shechem dealt treacherously with Abimelech, that the cruelty done to the 70 sons of Jerubbaal might come, and their blood be laid upon Abimelech their brother, which slew them, and upon the men of Shechem, which aid him in the killing of his brethren. So instead of saying justice, they see injustice. And saying they don't see the righteousness, they don't see the good, they only concentrate on the evil of it. They don't regard justice. When they read the scriptures, they don't see the justice in it. And it's showing all over the place the justice. But they don't want to see it. They just want to show the atrocity. Then God sent an evil, but they don't tell you why did it happen, the atrocity. They don't know where it's coming from, really. Was it from the first generation? Or was it from the second generation? Or the last generation? Where was it coming from, the atrocity for? Then God sent an evil spirit between Abimelech and the men of Shechem, permitted, yea, gave a commission to Satan, the evil spirit, to go among them, who stirred up suspicion, jealousy, hatred, and ill will to one another, and sowed the seeds of discord and contention among them. Or God gave them up their own hearts' lust to think ill of one another, grow jealous, and meditate revenge. And he said, I will go forth, and I will be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets, the king's prophets, question mark, Jezebel's prophets, question mark. Then God sent an evil spirit between Abimelech and the men of Shechem, and the men of Shechem dealt treacherously with Abimelech. Because the people consented with the king in shedding innocent blood, therefore God destroys both one and the other. And he said, Thou shalt persuade them, and prevail also, go forth and do so. Now therefore, behold, the Lord hath put a lying spirit in the mouth of all these prophets, and the Lord hath spoken evil concerning thee. I hope this was okay in love. Thank you, Jesus. So they never know what I'm going to do. They never know. My cousin said that she had pretty much, understood my mind. But I know that I'm still surprising her. I'm waiting for her to surprise me. And she did. She did surprise me. A little. When she brought the thing with the spaghetti, God, a religion, I was really surprised. She surprised me a couple of times. But when she's saying that she's not amazed, I know that she is. And she said that she almost could say that she's impressed, but that she would lie again like all the time she does. So she is hesitating to let me know, because she does not want to put herself in a, vulnerable. She doesn't want to show herself vulnerable. She is afraid to trust someone. Okay? She is afraid to trust somebody. She is afraid to trust me, more specifically. And I'm trying to tell her what is trust. I'm telling you what is love. I'm telling you what is friendship. I'm telling you what is trust. Okay, so then there is this going on. Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. You know when everybody's saying, it's not knocking at my door. And he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children, and the heart of the children to their fathers, lest I come and smite. It's not knocking at your door, but Robert Kelly did pull you back here, and as it was before, it is again today, because when Elijah brought all the false prophets in front of all the people, it was not knocking at their doors neither, and they were gathered at the same place to be all witness of what was happening, and after that they took the decision who they should take away and who they should keep. Because Elijah was alone, really. Because when Elijah was there, he was there, and the false prophets were there, 850, and then the multitude of people were there. I don't know the number, but after Elijah had convinced the heart of the multitude to turn, then the multitude was much more than the 850. And so after that, Elijah could just, as he pleased, cut each of their head. So, people are gathering. When is it or isn't it decided to get out of his closet? Then he could not turn back. Are you also going to capitulate? Are you going to acknowledge my God? the earth with a curse. And that's how it ends the Old Testament. How is it that we still read it today? Because it's still standing. I will send you Elijah. Elijah will still be standing. So the Old Testament also is still standing. As a Christian, we read that because it's still standing. I will send you Elijah. Elijah will still be standing. So the Old Testament also is still standing. As a Christian, we read that all scriptures are acceptable for understanding the Old. Let me find the verse. The man of God may be perfect, truly furnished unto all good works. It was referring to all scriptures, Old Testament, New Testament. For what? For profitable, for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness, that the man of God may be perfect, truly furnished unto all good works. So when I was looking at the scriptures, I was not thinking every time, well, is this really part of the truth, or is this a part that is from Satan and I should not consider?
Okay, let's continue. So on this page, we want to look at fire from heaven. According to Jesus, fire from heaven is of the wrong manner of spirit. So first of all, Malachi 3:6.
Got to make a new part